This episode of Comedy Bang Bang is brought to you by Rick and Morty. I'm Pickle Rick! Is that how it sounds? Relive that moment and many, many more with Rick and Morty Season 3 on Blu-ray and DVD. Treasure the Pickle Rick portrait encased in plastic while you enjoy all 10 episodes and exclusive behind-the-scenes special features. Don't miss the opportunity to acquire an heirloom that your family will cherish for generations. Rick and Morty Season 3, available now on Blu-ray and DVD.
Comedy bang bang, 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 comedy bang bang.
Getting paid and getting laid like Randy Quaid and Independence Day. Welcome to Comedy Bang Bang. All right. Thanks to Bingo Boy, I believe, making his first catchphrase appearance for Comedy Bang Bang. Welcome to the show. Third Monday in May, of course, and may I say that we have a wonderful show today. Coming up a little later, we have a sports bar poet. That's interesting. I've never heard of that exact profession before. We also a returning guest, a favorite, Mrs. Potts, will be here a little later, so that's incredible. We'll find out what she's been up to. And we have another returning guest. So we're two returners and one new guest, if anyone's keeping track out there, keeping the stats. And as far as stats go, this person has been just blowing the roof off of them ever since this show has been incepted into your minds. This is his probably, I want to say, sixth appearance in 9 years or so. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. 6 and 9.
6 and 9. Hey,
Yeah,
put those
for
two
sure.
numbers together. I
You
like
get
it.
the ultimate double oral, please. Both at once.
He is for my money, and I'm trying to think of how much money I've spent on this.
How much have you spent on me?
$0, it seems
Grooming
like.
and publicity? Nothing?
I mean, I went to your off-Broadway show for free because you gave me tickets.
Okay, 0.
I have seen your specials on Netflix for
0.
I mean, honestly, your special may be the only thing I watched this month. So, that's about, what is it per month? About $12.99 or something like that?
So
maybe,
$12.99.
yeah, about $13 I've spent on you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And for my money is what I was going to say.
The $13.
The $13. So take this with a grain of salt that it's only $13 worth of opinion. But for my money, the greatest living stand-up comedian. Nope, I'm going to go greatest stand-up comedian, living or dead.
Really?
Because the dead ones are not that great anymore.
Oh, they were good.
Well, I mean, they were good when they were alive, but currently they're
There's
not good.
living ones, too, that are great. But I love myself very much.
Yes. His new special, Kid Gorgeous, live at Radio City Music Hall. Is that part of the title?
Yeah, Kid Gorgeous at Radio City, I think we finally decided.
So you took out the live because it's not. You taped it.
It's on tape, yeah.
It's on tape.
I put in live, and then they said it's not.
And
I
you
said,
even
wonderful.
you even edited stuff out, I would imagine. So it's like there's all sorts of
absolutely.
trickery and chicanery.
Absolutely. You film 2 shows and then you edit them together, but
Right.
always one is better than the other, so it's basically one show.
Right. And what I would like, and we'll introduce you in a second, what I would like is if
Yeah, we'll get to me.
Is if there was just a bug in the upper right-hand corner describing which show that you were currently watching.
There's not a bug, but there's sweat. If you're a continuity master, there's flop sweat that you can really track, and you go, that's more of a 11 p.m. thing than a 7 p.m. thing.
So you sweat more in the second show. Okay, very interesting. I was
Yes.
tracking
Well,
this.
the first show is always tight and bad, and then you go, God damn it, why are we doing this? Why are we
Why
doing
are we
this?
banking so much money
Everyone
on
get in here, I'm so mad. And then the second show's
production
fun.
meeting?
Yeah, production meeting. I don't
sucked.
like myself. Yeah.
Well, that is currently on Netflix. The wife, when I say the wife, I mean my wife.
Not the proverbial.
Yes, not all wives in the world. Not the
Yeah.
royal wife. Not Meghan
Queen,
Markle.
Not Meghan Markle.
We watched it last night.
that goes through.
There is no better $13 spent. He is here live with us. John Mulaney is here. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thanks for the $13.
Yeah, my pleasure. What are you going to do with it?
I spent it already. I went to 7-Eleven.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, 7-Eleven, okay, I don't understand it because, like, when you put numbers...
Okay, what don't you get?
When you put numbers, like the dollar store, I get it.
Right.
99-cent store, even better.
Sure.
But $7?
Almost synonymous, those two.
Sure.
Yeah.
But $7? $11? Like
Yeah.
everything is $7, everything is $11?
Not at all, not at all. While I don't know the origins of the store's name, that's not what's happening there at all. Mm-hmm. But now that you say that, I don't know why it's called 7-Eleven.
Why don't they? Because at the 99-cent store, sure, everything for a while was 99 cents, but they would like sponges were 3 for 99. You know, the cheap
Yeah.
things they would put enough of them in a packet so it would add up to 99.
Now, you said for a while. Has it changed?
Well, I don't even know because I haven't been in one. I would imagine inflation has made these things obsolete. Or
Well,
they,
sometimes when they're not ready at Jitlada, you cross the street and there's a big old 99-cent store. Jitlada, for those of you that don't know, is a Thai place that's wonderful. But as they self-advertise, their love of food is big, but their kitchen is small, so it's going to be a long wait.
Exactly. By the way, they are a current advertiser. I appreciate you reading the
Are they
copy
really?
that I gave you.
They do. As you walk in, there's a sign that says like it's going to be a while, and then there's 800 Mac Groenings on the wall. And
Wait, so he does the sort of what was that? The Derby, where who was that artist who did all the drawings of
it
celebrities?
wasn't Hirschfeld, but it was
Hirschfeld.
Okay,
See,
is
you're
Hirschfeld.
you are the well, it may have been Hirschfeld.
I don't
I'm
know.
about to attack you. I feel like I'm reaching out to you with open hands. But you are the typical person who would know a piece of information like that.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I'm an anachronistic, out of touch person. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. But he does. Are they of celebrities or are they just Simpsons?
They look almost like that Picasso thing. You ever heard that Picasso would like not pay for a meal? He would just like draw a scribble and be like, "There you go."
There you go.
Or is that just a John Lovett sketch? Anyway, they seem almost. There's so many Homers that I'm like, were these in a bartering atmosphere?
Right.
Of like, you
Like,
know what?
look, I tell you what.
Once again, I forgot my wallet. You guys know me.
2 entrees. That's a Homer.
Sure, I'll give you a Homer.
I'll give you a Homer.
Know
Like
me,
if you
I'm
want a
good for the
Bart,
money.
though.
Yeah, if you want
that's a
Bart.
full 9-courser.
Yeah. Did you ever buy bootleg Bart Simpson gear back in the day?
You know what? The guys in the Lonely Island and I talk about it all the time about and
yeah.
Neil Campbell as well about
Okay.
the like the Rasta ones and
Yep.
what were your favorites?
Well, my friend went to New York and he got an African American Bart who was basically Patrick Ewing. He was in a Knicks jersey, but Patrick Ewing's number dunking.
Right.
And I think it said like Bartman Knicks fan or something.
Bartman Knicks man.
Yeah, those
It
rhyme
rhymes, so
a
it's
little.
okay,
The
yeah.
and rhymes, yeah. But
Sure.
Bart and Ix.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
they're gonna,
It's not a double rhyme.
Yeah, let's take it
that's
back.
slant rhyme. Those almost rhyme. Mm-hmm. But look, I don't want to step on the Lonely Island in Neil's territory.
No. By the way, develop this because this was office talk. You know what I mean?
They
like
don't
this,
talk about it on mic?
No, this is purely just like at Bang Bang or in the office or whatever. Us laughing about these shirts. I think this is prime material for your next special.
Ooh, I like that it's already been done in a office atmosphere, but now I would take it, appropriate it.
Well, that's what I think a lot of your comedy really is to me is like stuff that people talk about in the office, but they're not funny.
Right. Or the subjects are like, oh, well, you wouldn't, that's boring, you wouldn't talk about that. And then I'm like, I'll show you.
But I can imagine like around the office someone saying like one day, hey, you ever go to an assembly when you were young? And then people going, oh yeah, those were fine. And that's
Yeah.
the end of it. That's where it ends.
And I go, "Zh, zh, zh." I don't chime in. I wait.
You wait to
I lie
strike.
and wait.
But
My wife was telling me about a school assembly she went to on the 4th of July. She was like, we once had an assembly just for about natural gas. And she was like, a guy came in to her high school in Connecticut and talked about natural gas. And I was like, was he from like a natural gas company? And she's like, yes. And then I remember that we would have those and people would come in and we once had a guy named Bill Pinkney who sailed around the world. First African-American man to sail solo around the world.
Okay.
He came in, talked to us. We were so bored. He was talking about sailing. We were bored. He told us that he got his ear pierced when he rounded Cape Horn, which is a tradition. That was a little interesting. And then at the end, he's like, now I'd like to show you when I got back, who I got to meet, someone you might recognize. And he just had a slideshow and there's a photo of him and Michael Jordan, and we all cheered.
Now,
knew how to close.
Did any of this did this come in under the wire that it could have been included in the chunk about assemblies, or your wife's information primarily, or was this
in
something
some
she said
shows-
to you right after taping of like,
No,
oh, that
no,
reminds me?
It was I didn't have anything about assemblies in the show till the fall, and in the hour that I was touring, and then she brought that up, and so after the 4th of July, late August, I started doing a bit about assemblies that made it into the special. I once said on stage that my wife went to an assembly that was just on natural gas, and I had no comment for it. It was just there.
Yeah.
And it
Works in a podcast setting really well.
yeah, and it was fine. The audience appreciated that it was on theme.
Right. How do you? I was watching the special last night, and you have such a seamless transition into your first chunk about ghosts, where you mention the venue. And you mention the fact that so many. I don't want to spoil it for you, but
It's all right. Go ahead.
Okay, you mentioned the fact that it's an old venue where so many people have
Radio
died.
City, yeah.
Radio City Music
People
Hall.
have played there who have died later, and one would imagine. If you, on the theory that ghosts haunt places that were important to them, you could imagine that ghosts would haunt Radio City.
Do you think that's my question? Do you think you'll be haunting Radio City?
Oh,
Where would you like to haunt?
the Laugh Factory.
Which one? The one down here on Sunset?
Yeah, the one on Sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go to Greenblatt's. I guess you wouldn't. How much agency do you have as a ghost? Can you go up and down the strip?
Let's see. I think you can travel vertically at about
Children can see you, which is not a problem.
Right.
At Greenblatt's at the factory.
Right, of course. Right.
I've done the Laugh Factory once or twice, and the first time was bad, and the second time happened. And I nothing against it. It'd just be fun to haunt a place that I really had no connection to.
Right. Yes, I believe I've only been there 3 times in my life. Twice as a performer. One time to see a benefit concert, for whom I do not know, but some comedian.
Okay.
Some comedian who was ill or something like that.
Oh.
What a star-studded lineup, but I cannot remember for whom it was.
Now, this is a terrible thought, but do you ever see people who have a lot of money tweet a Kickstarter, and you go, "Why don't you just pay for the person?"
Right.
Like-
yeah. Just pay. Just
They're like,
throw him
"We
some
gotta
bucks."
get $3,000 for Stewie
Right.
D," and
Thanks.
you're like, "Why don't you pay for Stewie D? You're so rich, you have TV shows. I know who you are."
Stewie. Who's this now? Stewie.
Well, let's imagine a Boston comic named Stewie D.
Stewie D.
And his closer was Chia Pet. They put it on his balls and
Sure.
grew a lot of ball hair. Let's
right.
imagine. that.
Let's just
That's-
imagine
right.
something. Yeah.
Now Stewie's sick, right? So
What does he have, by the way?
Oh, cancer. And people that you know are millionaires, they go, "Hey, Stewie D needs $3,000," and then you look and like 900 is raised in $10 increments.
Right.
And people like, it's not even anonymous. People
Right,
are like,
yeah.
"Here you go," and you go, "You got money, you son of a
Well,
bitch."
that's the thing. We're so willing to throw a couple grand. What's the legal limit for political? It's like $2,700 or something like that.
Yeah, unless you got a shell corporation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always set up shell corporations to donate to my.
I donate to Shell Gas, and I say, "Please pass this on to some progressive candidates and some new voices."
But why can't? Yeah, exactly. Why we're so willing to throw $2,700 out there for people? Just throw $2,700 over to Stewie D.
Well, I don't know if everyone's willing to throw out $2,700 either, but I just want you to know, y'all who are tweeting the Kickstarter, is very sweet, but just give Stewie
Just
the money.
give Stewie the money.
Everyone knows you have that money.
Exactly.
Please. There's a whole website now where you can see how much money people have.
That's right. And I haven't looked you up, but I'd love to look you up right now. May I?
I'm going to look you up.
Okay. Yeah. So this is a fun part of the show. This is the Celebrity Net Worth co-lookup, where we each look each other up. And
Fucker, man.
are you on the Wi-Fi here?
I've got enough bars.
Okay, good. And don't spell my name incorrectly. That'll take
I
you to the
spell
wrong
your
person.
name correctly.
All right.
Hold
Hey.
on. Hey, good for you.
Hey, good for you. Even better.
Well, I don't know. Well, now let me see what it says about me.
Well, I can do. Why don't we just trade phones instead of each separately looking each other up? Hey, there you go. All
right.
You know what I mean? Hey, congratulations, buddy.
Congrats to you, man.
So now, if you were to tweet a Kickstarter for me, I would expect you to pay for it.
Right. Like,
I hope to get seriously ill and for you to lead that charge.
sure. But unless it's like so much, like what you want done is excessive.
Right? What do you think is excessive? And by the way, where's the cutoff for what I want done? Like, is
Right.
liposuction?
Yeah, like what you want versus what you need.
Right, exactly.
You go like I have skin cancer.
Sure.
I want, but that,
throw
I don't
in-
wanna
but
stop
throw in
there.
some
Yeah.
extras.
I want to do stem cells down in the Bahamas, and then I want all work. I want full work done.
Stem cells for what exactly?
I don't know. Well, stem cells used to be, what were they, illegal or something? Are they still illegal?
I don't know.
I used to hear about people going down to the Bahamas to get stem cells for tennis elbow or something.
Right.
That's actually a true story I heard about one person. It wasn't a common story.
Is this Stewie D, by the way?
Yeah, my main man Stewie D, with the Chia closer, which he stole.
I guess what I was getting at earlier with the special is the links between jokes.
Yeah.
You use such economy with them. Because they have to be short because they're not like jokes. You know what I mean? So you use you get them down as you whittle them down to as few words as possible to launch you into the next chunk. But is that your least favorite part of writing the hour? Is it your most favorite part? How do you the links between chunks?
Oh, the links between chunks.
I can only liken it to when we were writing Mr. Show. You would write a bunch of sketches, put them in an order, and then you had to write links between them.
Right.
And that was the least fun part of the job.
Did you at a certain point, as I did, go, oh, the links don't matter?
Yes. As a matter of fact, once we were done with the show, we all wondered why we spent so much time on them. Even though they're the thing that people talked about for the show of like how special it was, we all were like, oh, that was such a pain in the ass. There was one day where we spent 2 full days arguing something that turned into a 10-second thing. Two full office days of 8 writers.
I've overwritten transitions between topics to the point that it's like the audience looks at you like, you can go to the next thing. We don't need this.
Yeah, you can just pause and then start something.
We need a rope bridge, and you're trying to build like the Brooklyn Bridge.
Right, the bridge over the River Kwai.
The bridge over the River Kwai, yeah, under duress or imprisonment, whatever happened to those poor bastards. And
who knows?
Who even knows?
It's so long ago. Who can even tell?
Who can even watch? Who even could go back and check the movie? Yeah, and then there's extreme non-bridge work.
Right, like what? What would be an example of this?
This is not Chris Rock. It sounds like it's Chris Rock.
Okay.
But like, everything's crazy. Like you finish the topic, right?
Right.
And then you go, that's crazy, right?
Right.
Topic A was crazy.
That was crazy.
Everything's crazy. World's crazy. Topic B is crazy. Now we're in topic B.
Oh, so just the fact that that's so this
Bart
thing that
Simpson
you made
shirts,
up.
man, fake ass Bart Simpson shirts. That's crazy. Whole world's crazy.
The whole world's
crazy.
In fact,
Economy's
I
crazy.
saw something the other day.
Yeah. No, we're
Great.
off on a
Yeah.
roll.
How often is that what you settle on? The equivalent of that in Mr. Show, by the way, is pulling out of a TV. Pulling like we do a fake commercial, and then you pull out of a TV and it's in a room where the next sketch is.
Yes, that's by the way.
Not
now
bad.
that you say that, I'm like, I was always like, it was the whole time it was on TV.
That was considered the laziest thing that we could ever do.
But it worked. It worked beyond just linking. I was like, that was on TV.
The one that I'm thinking of that we argued for 2 minutes about how lazy that was, we ended up pulling out of the TV because there was no conceivable link between these two things.
Yeah. I would give up totally, and then I think I found like a little link between things the whole time. There's one point where I just go, the passage of time. And that there's not much of a connection between topics.
But hey.
Yeah.
But I guess what I was asking about to keep bringing it back to my inartful question, the opening of the special, was that Radio City centric, or was that something that you did in every, not to get it too much into process, but the joke about the haunted
process.
Theater.
Let's start with morning pages.
Okay.
I wake up and I just write 3 longhand pages.
Of course
right?
you do.
As everyone does.
Of course you do.
Oh, everyone does. I love the morning. I love no breakfast and free writing. I played a lot of theaters are haunted.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Wonderful.
and more so than Radio City.
Right.
There's some where you walk in and you go, you've done some of these. You walk in, you're like,
Yes.
ooh.
Yeah.
Or I was at least.
Well, yeah.
There were more in Seattle.
Yes.
There
was one that we played
Midlands in Kansas City.
One we played in Dallas, which was the bank depository where JFK died, or
You
something.
played that the book depository
or something. It had some connection to that.
Wait a minute. Are you? What do you mean? You did a show in?
I did a
Dealey
show.
Plaza?
I did a show at a theater that had some sort of connection to JFK dying.
Oh, was it like a
can't
Jack Ruby venue?
It was a theater, definitely. It may have been a Jack Ruby. I don't know exactly what it was, but
Where they arrested him. They arrested Harvey.
Lee
Ryan, why are you getting on mic?
Lee Harvey.
Sorry.
Ryan, engineer, what
I
the?
didn't actually turn up the mic, but
Yo, that makes it better that you did it inaudibly. Stop
but
shouting during the show.
In fairness to Ryan, I could see a lot of faces that wanted to answer.
That wanted
and
to
he
answer.
Jumped
But
in.
I don't care. Let us figure it out.
He went to the
damn it.
movies, Lee
I got to
Harp.
tell you, John, can I just commiserate with you about
Absolutely.
this? It is so
The
hard
Kennedy
finding
assassination?
good. No,
Oh,
not.
what happened that
let's talk
day?
about that.
Okay,
just good employees is what I was going to do. But I mean, let's talk about the Kennedy assassination.
You have trouble finding good employees?
I mean, God, this guy. This
but
guy,
Ryan, he just wanted to say that's where Harvey,
Well,
as he calls him, was arrested.
Ryan, don't get on mic. Just nod up and down or shake your head. Were you on tour with us at that point? Yeah. Okay. That's why he feels like he.
You're at the venue, and they go, fun story. Isn't it great that you could just go into a movie back then, mid-movie, and it was like,
It was fine.
dime, please, and you're like, fine. And then you'd
Yeah.
sit and like crouch and be like, oh man, I stepped in it this time. Oh no, God damn it, here they come. Maybe they're here for someone else. That hope, I'm sure he thought maybe they're
here for someone else because police were constantly going into movie
well, maybe
theaters
the movie
at that
had
point.
a boob and he was like, maybe they're here to shut it down. Oh no, they're stopping it.
Maybe the movie had a boob.
Yeah, and they would, the censors, the church would hear and they'd call the cops. The past was so different, you have no idea. Now everything's progressive.
John Mulaney. Such a good special.
Thanks, man.
I noticed this is your third one. Is that
Third one, yeah.
And you take a 3-year cycle. So what's the show? What's your special in 2021? Does it have kid in the title? Your last two have.
No, I didn't mean, and I didn't realize they both did.
You didn't realize it.
I didn't realize till we'd made the tour art. And then my wife was like, I think it's funny that you keep calling yourself Kid. And I was like, oh, I didn't think of that.
By the way, what is Kid Gorgeous? Because
Kid Gorgeous is a rip-off a bit is a deep-cut Simpsons reference because Mo had a boxing career.
what do you think a Mo is in Matt Groening's barter system? Is it like an app or?
See, I bet Matt thinks that a Mo is worth less than a Homer, but it's not.
You think a Mo is more valuable?
Absolutely.
To the true fan.
To a fan, yeah.
A fan would rather have a Mo than a Homer.
Sure. And by the way, the restaurant would rather have money than anything else.
Of course.
But if you're really talking about, I'm like, Homer's like,
Homer to me is
a
like
Groening Homer, no offense to Matt. We all know he created the early, gruff, not good version of
sure
the
the
show.
Walter Matthau.
Absolutely created the first version, which was less funny than what the other people made it.
Right.
But
no, and certainly no offense to him.
no offense. You could not have had what became good if he had not made the gruff voice thing.
The terrible.
Which, by the way, probably was good when it came out.
I mean, I watched it when it came out, and I was actually a big fan of Matt Groening's from his Life in Hell
yeah, Life in
comics.
Hell
I was
is
very
funny.
excited about
Life in Hell is very funny. What I'm saying is that watching the first Simpsons now, they're so. It's so unwatchable. The voice is so crude. The animation terrible.
Right.
That you go, oh, okay. So someone came in.
and fix this up.
Let's say
did some
Sam
stem cells
Simon made
things
it better. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Let's just say Sam Simon.
Let's throw out a fake name.
right.
And
Sammy S.
Yeah, right. And now Matt. No.
Certainly
why
no
am I
offense.
taking shots?
No.
Because he's fine. If we looked him up, he's
Sure.
probably got $1 million bucks easy.
Let's separately look him up. Okay, this is our celebrity net worth lookup of Matt Groening with Groe. There we go.
Yep. And how nice of us to know
And
his spelling.
yeah, there you go. He's fine.
Pasta fazool.
Azul. That is 130 John Mulaney's worth.
Yeah.
He's worth 130 of you.
No, he's worth more.
Oh, okay. No, you're right. 160. 165. 166.666.
I don't want to say what mine was. I'm going to dirty the math, though. We don't know.
2021, be on the lookout for another special from John
Yeah.
Mulaney, but currently the one that you can watch, Kid Gorgeous, on Netflix right now. No better hour spent. No better $13 spent.
Whoa.
This is, if you are a fan of the art of comedy, and God love you if you are,
God love you.
then this is appointment viewing, although as far as I know, you don't have to make an appointment.
Nope, it's there streaming all the time.
What if you had to make an appointment on Netflix for when you... Do you think that would get in the way of people's viewing habits?
Well, it's very weird because you've done live shows where people have to get a babysitter and
Sure.
pay
And-
cash dollars to see you live.
And there is a time written on the ticket that
and
they have
get
to be there by.
on time, and they park, and they come in there, and they paid like
Yes.
$25.
So it's
to $40,
not that hard.
right? But then I don't know. I've also done television, which is there, like, please, we're here if you need us, and no one comes. And it's like, you don't need a babysitter. I'm here if you please. I'm right here. Just turn it on.
Just turn it on.
Just
All you
turn
gotta do
on,
is turn it on.
and by
All you
the way,
gotta do is
it's
turn it on.
$0 goddamn dollars.
Right, and no one
chance,
watches.
no
No one
chance.
watches.
Absolutely not.
But then for Netflix, if you had to do the same thing, like what if you had to get a babysitter anytime you wanted to watch something on Netflix,
Right.
And you had to show up at the specific time? I think people would do it.
Well, pay-per-view boxing.
That is the exception that proves the rule.
I believe boxing was like a thing that was on TV in black and white, like constantly, and then someone
Right.
was like, "No, it's not anymore. It's once a year.
It's once a year, and
it's
you have
like
to pay
$50,
And even more, it's like
we bring in a special TV, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that sounds
Okay,
good.
great. I mean, boxing was just like every day there was boxing.
Right, yeah, and
Yeah.
just like two like fat guys
The
just
fights,
kind of pounding
like,
on each other.
and,
Yeah,
and a man who's unhappy in his marriage would watch the fights.
right.
Yeah, we got to do that.
We gotta do
So
that.
what would you do? You'd be like, no, you can't go see stand up. Come on, what are you crazy? It's not just on TV. Once a year, you'd be like,
Once a year, pay-per-view,
Yeah.
stand-up comedy.
Johnny Pacquiao versus the audience, and then it's $50.
Johnny Pacquiao doing stand-up.
Because I was thinking about Manny Pacquiao, right? So I figured I'll take half that name.
Yeah, sure. I like Johnny Pacquiao as the name of 2021's special.
That would be great. Okay, locked.
Okay, it's in.
Absolutely
It's in
locked.
there. Make sure before you leave and before this is released, get the domain name. Use Squarespace if you want.
Oh, that's so funny. Remember when people would just buy domains?
Oh yeah, and it was like
Oh.
a cash cow for them. And now who
Or
gives
they
a shit?
thought.
Oh, they thought. I still get
pettiness of it.
I still get the emails about like someone has ScottAukerman.com out there. I'm like, I don't give a shit.
And also that creep.
Yeah.
Being like, hey, he's going to want this.
Yeah, he's gonna want this when. And now, remember when every comedian had their own website though, and they had to update it constantly.
Oh, Flash intro.
Oh,
Skip
God,
intro.
of course, yeah.
Maybe watch intro. There were some
Wait a minute,
comedians I
skip
liked so
intro.
much.
This is a good name for your special. Skip intro.
Skip, like my name is
Like
Skip?
yeah, skip it. Yeah,
That's
John
very
Mulaney
funny.
is skip intro.
Yeah. Skip intro.
And then you have like a 5-minute comedy scene at the top where people are just like, it has celebrity cameos, and you're just like, God damn it, I just want to watch him do stand up.
when they go, why'd you call it skip intro? I go, well, in 2018, there used to be, it would load and it'd say you can skip the ad in 5, 4, 3, and it'd be like, what are you talking about? And
in 2018? What even are those numbers?
what are you talking about? Get out of here.
Get the fuck
You're
out
blowing
of here.
your press.
And I'm just a reporter, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you this.
I'm just working the beat.
The comedian beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just catch me on the street. Why
Right
skip
outside
intro?
Catch a Rising Star.
Yeah, I'm mobbed.
Mm-hmm.
Flashbulbs. Skip intro or Johnny Pacquiao. I
Johnny
like
Pacquiao's good.
because it's terrible and but everyone wants to know this why you call a special something, and all you need is a reason.
Yeah.
And I would just say that me and Scott Aukerman locked.
We
Johnny
locked it in 3
Pacquiao.
years ago.
Yeah, and it's
and that's it. That's the
there's-
reason.
And there was nothing I could do about it.
Is that the most stressful part of the job? Is figuring out the title of the
No,
the tour?
that was done recklessly in 1 half hour
with abandon.
Yeah, I had. I wanted to. I was thinking about the name Kid Charlemagne, which is a Steely Dan song. Everyone said nope, and then Steely.
Steely Dan, based on a dildo.
Right. So I was like,
So you're
the
like,
obscurity of it, but they were
right.
like, it's not obscure enough because it's on the bridge.
By
Kid
the way, if
Charlemagne.
people don't know what I mean by that, what a weird sentence to hear.
A Steely Dan is a
based
dildo
of-
based on what?
Naked
William
Lunch, I
Burroughs'
believe.
Naked Lunch,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right. So they were already,
They were already, like-
pissing people off with their.
Oh my
obscure-
God, the guys in Steely Dan.
Yeah.
You have an affinity for the guys in Steely Dan, do you not?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah.
And of course, we lost Steely
Walter
Dan.
Becker, we love half
Yeah.
of them. Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Half of all Steely Dan died.
half of all Steely Dan. I mean, the decimation, this is like genocide if you really think about it. Like half of Steely Dan in 1 year is gone.
Right. No Kickstarter there.
Nope. For Steely D.
Yeah. Do you like them? Do you listen to them?
We've talked about it on the show. I think just even their choice of name, they're a bunch of creeps.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's part of it is like just like talking out the side of their mouth. Like,
Right.
but I had
By the way, we are
affinity.
coming up on Steely Dan Day. Oh no, we just passed it. It was on Saturday.
It was?
May 19.
Why? Oh, Hey 19.
May 19, yes.
Oh, that's a fake thing.
We created
Star
it here.
Wars be
yeah,
with you.
I created it.
Oh, you created it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it has not caught on,
Well,
other than with fans of this show.
All right, let me take you through my process.
Okay.
I thought, I'm pissed I didn't think of that. I wish I'd known about it when it had happened.
Right.
So I'm going to denigrate it. And I
Okay.
apologize because May 19 is very clever.
Well, I apologize because I should have brought you in as part of the process.
no, you don't have to do that.
That's
I just
okay,
listen
I
to the
don't-
albums like
Right.
anyone else.
Sure. Well, we are taping this in advance of Steely Dan Day, just on that Saturday. Please open up, one
Did
of their...
you start May the 4th?
I did not, no. Although I will say, on the previously aforementioned Mr. Show, when Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself...
Oh, yeah, he's on Twitter.
Of course he is. He's a Twitterer of note.
Is he left wing or right wing? I can't tell.
I cannot tell. Like, that's what's great about him is he's like Jay Leno, who's right in the
I
middle.
like when people God bless, and I love you, Mark Hamill. But people, he'll be like, watch it, Mr. Trump, and people will be like, hey, when Luke Skywalker's mad at you, you better watch it. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, you should watch. Yeah, of course.
course.
But he's also an actor.
He's also just a
Yeah,
guy
he's
who
also a
like
guy,
has
yeah.
maybe some of the qualities that
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker
It's like when
possessed,
people
but-
are afraid of Joe Pesci, and
Right.
it's like, that's a character actor.
Yeah, just listen to his album. You won't be afraid of him anymore. The one where he raps over Blondie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in character. As
What was
the-
it called? As Vinny?
Vinny, yeah, as the cousin Vinny. But what I was going to say is Mark Hamill, he while we were making Mr. Show, he approached and wrote to Bob Odenkirk asking for tapes.
Throwing him under the bus.
Oh no! This he had great taste. He wanted tapes because there were no videotapes of the
Sure.
show, or it didn't come out on DVD for many years. And so we sent him the tapes of the current season, and I implored Bob. I was like, please, in the note, write May the 4th (season) be with you. And Bob was like, God, I'm not going to do that. What the fuck does that even mean? He didn't even know the reference
Yeah.
because that's Bob never having seen any movie.
So he didn't.
He's
he
like,
didn't
well,
ask,
what is that?
do you
I
mean?
had to explain it first, and he's like, I'm not going to do that. Get the fuck out of here.
You're right.
So it did not happen.
Okay.
So that is my connection to May the 4th.
Right.
I was an early adapter of May the 4th jokes, but I did not think of May the 4th be with you day.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Kid Gorgeous is currently
It's still on there. It's
still on
Netflix.
there. What if you went to Netflix and it wasn't on one day? Who do you call? Do you
I
call
have a
up Ted?
special called New in Town that it was an acquisition. So every month,
The license runs out?
yeah, and it goes till midnight. And they're like, it's like they go, it's going to expire. And I'm like, you're going to re-up it, please. And then they do.
Just goes down to the wire, though. I'd like to see them, in negotiations with whoever
Yeah, I don't even
owned
know
it
what's
originally.
happening
I don't know.
bartering over the $500.
I don't know. That happens with Comedy Bang Bang. It would not surprise me if it just is like gone one day. So please, people, watch it.
Yeah, well,
because it was an acquisition.
Are you scared ever with all the streaming things, all the things that we think are permanent? That they might go, hey, we flushed all your work down the toilet.
Yeah,
So
I
we're-
do. I
we're
think
just,
about it. Yeah,
we're just making.
I have a hard drive of everything. That
Yes.
someday I'd like to release, but I don't own the rights, of course.
Well, how would you? Well, you just you release the hard drive.
I would just exactly release the hard drive. I would, or I would like ask people over to the house to look at the hard drive,
Right.
and not the stuff on the hard drive. Just
What's
the
that
hard
Johnny Depp movie where he lives on the internet? Dr. Will Castor,
I
Yesterday
think it
Was Only Human.
Pirates of the Caribbean 4.
right, yeah.
Mhm, yep. All right, Kid Gorgeous in Netflix right now. I was going to say in theaters, but not really. On Netflix right now. We need to take a break.
In home theaters.
In home theaters. Make your appointment now. Get the babysitter. You
Yeah.
can watch it.
And
John,
may the 19 be with you.
of course, next year. Of course, because we're 2 days late.
I know.
We will be right back. This is great. We have a sports bar poet, and our old friend Mrs. Potts will be here. Let's come right back. We'll have more Comedy Bang Bang after this. Wedding season is upon us. Oh boy, and if you're not one of the lucky ones getting married, I bet you're one of the even luckier ones who get to watch someone get married. Ooh, baby, my favorite thing to do on a Saturday night. Well, if you're going to a wedding and you're going to bring a date, you want to look fresh, don't you? And that is where theblacktux.com comes in. See, okay, what theblacktux.com does is it lets you rent awesome suits, not to mention tuxedos in all styles, online. That's right. The Black Tux, they have everything there. With the Black Tux, you can take your style to the next level in funky, Funky! Funky! Shrek! Funky! Cool options, emerald shawl tuxedo. What? With the Black Tux, you can take your style to the next level in funky, cool options, emerald shawl tuxedo. That doesn't make sense. And blow it out for your big one-time event. Okay, what are they trying to say here? Let's try to parse this out. Okay, with the Black Tux, you can take your style to the next level. Easy enough. In funky, cool options, emerald shawl tuxedo. They must have something called Emerald Shawl Tuxedo. That's what I'm getting out of this. Now, what's interesting about it is it says, read this part verbatim. So they've obviously thought about it. So I'm going to do it. With the Black Tux, you can take your style to the next level in funky, cool options Emerald Shawl Tuxedo and blow it out for your big one-time event. There, verbatim, baby! And with free home try-on, you can feel the quality and see the fit months before your event. After ordering, your suit is going to arrive 14 days before your event. It gives you plenty of time to try it on, check it out. If anything is less than perfect, the Black Tux will send you a replacement right away. And then it's as simple as this. You wear it, you turn heads, hopefully not all the way around, and then you send it back 3 days later. It's that easy. If you can compile 4 weddings into a 4-day period, you're golden. You're done for the year. If you can get all your friends to marry each other in a 4-day period, you just have to rent one suit. That's the dream. It is that easy. Shipping is even free both ways. You know that I've been in deep cover with the Black Tux. I've been in there. I've incepted myself into the Black Tux. I've been inside. I've been the inside man in the Black Tux. And I've looked around at all those suits. I've taken several of them home for myself. And you know what? I sent them back, sure, but I've been in deep cover in there. Basically, I went online and I got stuff sent to me. But it's great. You know, I've been talking about the Black Tux forever now. They are quality. You look good. You hate to go to a wedding and you're like, oh God, I just found something in my closet an hour before. This is the best I can look. Sorry, I ruined your big day. You don't want to do that. Go to theblacktux.com. To get $20 off your purchase, visit theblacktux.com/bangbang. That's theblacktux.com/bangbang for $20 off your purchase. The Black Tux. Premium rental suits and tuxedos delivered. Hello. There's a new show coming to Adult Swim called Joe Pera Talks With You. That is literally the first line of this copy, and I couldn't help but give it the read that it deserves. But I do want to say hello to you, hello, and tell you that there is a new show coming to Adult Swim called Joe Pera Talks With You. Yeah, hello. It's a quiet show about Joe and his friends and the things in his life. That's about it. Things like breakfast foods, rocks, weddings, being woken up by thunder, rocks. Oh, I said rocks. Grilled chicken, pumpkins, fall drives, and more. And now here's a personal request from Joe. Please watch. Okay. Sundays at midnight on Adult Swim. Goodbye. Comedy Bang Bang, we are back. John Mulaney, Kid Gorgeous, in Netflix home theaters now. 5.1 sound on this?
Yeah.
Shot in 4K, I would presume.
I don't know, shot in 4K, but it's in 4K now.
So you did a transfer? They don't let you do that.
No, you're right. Then the DP did it correct.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing. I remember him going, don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
In that production meeting in between shows?
I was like, you're going to make it look nice? No. He said,
you're going to get all the sweat drops?
No, you're right. We had a wonderful DP named Cameron Barnett, and he said they're all in 4K now, and I nodded like I knew what that was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ks. They're like thousands. Or they're like
it's
strikeouts.
4,000
So 4
Pixels.
strikeouts. Yeah,
4
exactly.
strikeouts,
4.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
You can watch that now. Let's get to our next guest. This is very interesting. He's a sports bar poet. That's I've never heard of these two things. John, you ever hear of these two things intersecting?
Yep.
Sports. You have. Great. All right. Well, then you'll have plenty of experience and questions to ask, I'm sure.
Yep.
Of which I have none. Please welcome to the show Clovis Mandrake. Hello,
Thank
Clovis.
you so much, Scott. It's great to be here. John, it's great to see you
Hey,
again.
good to see you, man. How you doing?
Wait, you've seen him before?
Sure, he's heard of me.
Oh, he's
familiar with my
Okay.
work.
Clovis who? Yeah.
Yeah.
Clovis Mandrake. What is a sports bar poet? I don't quite know exactly what this is.
Well, first of all, I'm a poet, and my medium, I write primarily, exclusively about sports bars. I'm
About
inspired
sports
by-
bars?
Inspired by
interesting.
sports bars and the things that go on in and around sports bars.
I guess when I first heard it, I thought you were a poet who performed in sports bars.
Occasionally. But
Oh, really?
I publish my work, you know.
That's interesting. I've never heard of a poet or any kind of artist who primarily writes about a subject matter in which the subject matter is performed. For instance, John, your material is not about Radio City Music Hall primarily, and yet
Well, as we discussed, the opening.
the
is-
opening was.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of sort of a tertiary tangential connection to this, but it's very interesting for you to be performing material about the actual place in which you are.
Well, I found my niche, and I decided to stay right there. I just wrapped it around me like a warm blanket and said, I'm here to stay.
Fantastic. Well, this is great. How did you get interested in the subject matter? Do you?
I drink a lot.
Oh, okay. When you say a lot, how
I'm a committed alcoholic.
committed?
After my second divorce, you know, I decided I can either take a left and change, or I can stay right where I am and double down, and that's what I did.
What would a right be? I wonder.
I don't know. That's a road less traveled.
Right. Although, you know, if you're a police officer, you realize that right turns are the most commonly made turns. So if you're pursuing a subject and you lose them and you're at an intersection,
Why do you know this fact?
Because they're easier. Or why do I know it?
The
Or
cops,
why is the fact correct? Why do I?
Why do you know it? Why do you know
Why do I know
And
it?
I have a
if you're a
separate
cop?
question.
And you have a separate. All right. I have
Same
time.
question, but slightly different.
I have time for two more. I know it because I was pursued by policemen so many times that I figured out that if you were being pursued and you wanted to lose them, one should make a left-hand turn
Interesting.
because they usually will, if they have to guess, they will make a right because rights are easier to make because you're going.
What
not
is
going
this
against the flow
tawdry
of
pass of yours? This counts as the same question. What is this tawdry pass of yours that you were constantly running?
These
from
are two
cops?
different questions. I have to
And
call
my question
BS on
still
this.
will be the second question.
Okay. All right.
Once you get to
Just when I was 17, where I grew up, there was a private police force. You know how these police forces, if they're incorporated by the city or what have you, they tend to, just stay in the town and
Hassle you.
hassle everyone. Yeah.
Just for
And
being a
John,
kid.
your question?
That's something you could know without being a police officer, right or wrong. That
Wrong.
a right turn's easier to make.
Wrong.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Okay.
So you second divorce.
After my second divorce,
Yeah.
I decided to just double. And I was already writing quite a bit.
You were
She wanted
during your second marriage. You were
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've been actually writing since I was about 5 or 6 years old.
When you say writing, do you mean poetry or just literally the English language?
I meant poetry, but you made a facial expression towards me like I was.
I wasn't making anything towards you. John, back me up on this.
I don't know. You did step a little towards him with that face.
I wasn't doing like what I was doing to you earlier, reaching out to you to the extent where you backed up alarmed.
I think you blanched a little when he said 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
Right. No, but I had already been dabbling in poetry and different kind of.
At 5 or 6, that's...
No, I'm sorry. I'm jumping to my divorce. I was
Okay.
being a little bit of a smart aleck when I said 5 or 6.
You were being a smart aleck. Okay, so I was right to give you that face at you?
Well, no, I was reacting to the first face. There's two faces. The first face.
There's two sides of
Was
the
you
same
say-
coin.
No. One
face.
side is heads, the other side's an eagle.
Okay, so two different coins then is what we're
Yeah.
talking about. Okay. Look, I feel like we're getting lost in the weeds here. Can we just talk about your poetry? Because
Please.
I'm a fan of the arts in
Thank
general,
you.
and not specifically poetry, but perhaps you can turn me
just
into a fan.
I find sports bars in general, but sports bars specifically, such a rich hotbed of humanity. It's like a Canterbury Tales of the different spectrums of humanity. And
John,
that's
you're an
what I
English
find.
major. Who wrote Canterbury Tales?
Chaucer, Geoffrey.
There you go. See? It was not worthless.
Isn't it weird that somebody back in the old days was named Jeffrey?
It's weird, isn't it?
You just don't expect somebody wearing velvet and a feathered hat to be like, "Hey, Jeff." It's weird, right?
It's like
How's it
calling
going?
someone Skip.
Yeah.
Skip intro. You know?
Do you think they had nicknames back in the olden days?
I don't. That's an interesting question because the urge to call someone by a different name, when did that take root in American culture? You know,
Well,
when was the name not enough?
King Henry IV, King Henry
Mad
V,
King?
they called Prince Hal.
Oh, Prince Hal.
Yeah.
Hal. Now, Hal is a nickname for Henry?
I don't know.
I always thought Hank was. But
Maybe
Hal.
There's a
multiple.
couple.
But I guess
Yeah.
Hal, what would Hal be a short for other than Halbert? So I guess you're right.
Halbert's not a name.
Exactly. So, Jeffrey. No, I'm sorry. Your name is Clovis.
Clovis.
That's Clovis. man.
Right. Okay. So Clovis, you love sports bars. What do you
Love
love
sport.
about them? The iconography.
It's just such a, you see everybody, they're showing a version of themselves while at the same time not realizing that they're showing their real selves.
Okay. So you're talking about when people get drunk, they show their real selves,
Exactly.
but they don't think they are. They think
Yeah, or
that
they
they're-
show up. I'm a Cleveland fan, or I'm a Blackhawks fan. So they come out there with an image. But after you spend an afternoon there and you observe these people, you see some of the real them come out.
I see. Okay. Well, that's fascinating. Do you have any examples of your work that you'd like to?
Sure, I've got a couple I'd love to read to
Oh,
you.
okay. This is exciting. We've done a few readings on this show of people's works. We've had one poet before, a cowboy poet. Who primarily talks about life on the range. But also Mike Birbiglia read a chapter out of his book. So this is not unprecedented, hearing a reading on this show. So I'm excited, John. Are you? How do you feel
Yep,
about
I was
this?
excited before the precedents you named too.
You
I mean,
were.
it made
You
sense
didn't
to me.
need. You didn't
totally
need
made
the-
sense to me that someone.
But you will stipulate that a reading on the show is not unprecedented. After hearing about the precedents.
No, it's now not unprecedented, nor was it out of the ordinary before.
All right, thank you.
Well, I'm excited to be included in this list.
So we have Birbiglia and Dalton Wilcox. Those are the two precedents that I've named. So you fit squarely within that
And
company.
here comes Mandrake around in the corner.
Okay. A right-hand turn, I hope.
Exactly.
All right, here we go.
More TVs. This bar needs more TVs. Sure, we've got Dodgers versus Padres, Mariners versus Blue Jays, but this bar needs more TVs. There's NFL preseason and NASCAR to my right, Stanley Cup playoffs, NCAA championships, and Sports Center to my left. But this bar, it needs more TVs. What about college lacrosse and Canadian golf? What about Greek basketball, horse and buggy racing, or ESPN classics? What about American Ninja Warrior? This bar needs more TVs. Take down the frame Prohibition has ended newspaper and put up a flat screen with Teen Mom OG. Get rid of those vintage yield and stop signs and put on Toddler Boxing and Naked and Afraid pop-up edition. Every inch of wall space should be taken up with a screen. Nobody cares about the collection of $1 bills from around the world or the deer antlers strewn with funny trucker hats. They care about the documentation of human potential. From the triumph of trampoline basketball or guys' grocery games to the tragedy of Tosh.0 and sex sent me to the ER. This bar needs more TVs. Thank you.
Wow.
Now, I don't claim to be a Birbiglia or a cowboy poet, but
Right.
I hope you'll accept my humble offering.
Is poetry the only art form in which one has to say thank you in order for someone to know it's done?
Yes.
Wow. That was powerful stuff.
Thank you.
I have. How many questions do you have? Since we're numbering questions.
Oh, I know the poem well, so.
Oh, so you have you've lived with it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I guess the only question I have is how can one frame dollar bills from around the world when are these dollar bills that have traveled around the world?
The dollar
or-
bills aren't framed. They're just thumbtacked.
I guess
onto
the framing part isn't what I was concerned about. I was more concerned about the fact that other countries don't have dollar bills. They
do you
have
mean?
other currency, don't they? I mean, they have.
No, they have.
Well,
if you
Canadian.
go to
There's a
Australia,
Canadian
there's
dollar.
an equivalent of a.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's excluding any country that doesn't have dollar, isn't based on the dollar currency.
I just meant generally paper currency, of a lower
Sure.
value. That
I know what you meant, and what I'm saying is
Then it
maybe
worked.
you could have been. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry.
Is that how you do your
Oh, I'm
stand-up
sorry.
comedy? As long
No,
as
no,
people
but
know it.
Since it's poetry.
You're very specific
but since
with
it's
your
poetry,
language.
if the image made sense, I feel like you're hounding him.
Point taken.
You're
I'm-
just verifying that you understood correctly.
Point taken. I don't mean to quibble. You're getting a little testy, I have to say.
I'm sorry.
One doesn't come onto a show with a poem that has been completed and doesn't expect notes.
That's a famous poem.
Like, I'm willing to give John notes on a special if he's willing to hear them.
Absolutely.
We can wait until after the show if you
No,
like.
we should do it whenever.
Okay. Did anyone give notes, by the way, in this mid-production meeting, in the production meeting in between shows? Were there notes?
People were like, why don't you relax? Yeah, that was the only note.
That was the only note. It was like, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Why don't you relax?
Not happy now, huh? Okay, great.
Right. Well, that was powerful stuff.
Thank
Is that based on something that is that based on a true experience?
I
or-
just don't like when I go to a sports bar and there's only a few TVs playing.
right.
Yeah.
How many do you like?
I mean,
How many you
as
got?
my work reference of every square inch of wall space is taken up, then I'm satisfied.
What about bar space? Do you think like maybe those TV? You ever see those TVs that are in tables? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why not?
Absolutely. There's so many sports around the world.
What's your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is highlight.
Highlight. What and what are the rules of that? I can't quite recall.
The rules are basically you throw that wicker wing as fast as you can and hope the other guy gets out of the way in time.
So you're throwing it at people? I guess I've never watched a highlight game.
Yeah.
And it's people. It's like dodgeball with
Basically,
a tinier
but
ball.
it goes about 100 miles an hour and people get killed sometimes from it.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Exciting. John, you open your mouth as if
Is Highlight, Clovis, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Is Highlight normally surrounded by obscene wealth?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
right, yeah, not like boxing, the depressed dad.
It's kind of like polo. It's like, it's a very exclusive sport. Not
Yeah.
it's much more dangerous than polo, but it's one of those, I think it's one of those rich people sports that people probably don't even know the rules, but they just want people to know that they're part of a highlight community.
Right. Polo always seemed to me like the more expensive the equipment, like that's the only sport where you have to have a horse.
Right.
Like that's the most expensive
racing.
piece of horse racing, of course. You're right.
Right.
But I mean, it's a little more expensive than horse racing because you also have to have a mallet.
Oh, Scott, you get a mallet for free when you buy a horse.
Any horse? They just give you a mallet?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I did not know. Okay. Well, that's incredible. Do you have another example of your
Oh,
work,
I've got
or-
plenty more. I like to read you my first poem, and I just to show
First
you
one you ever
where
wrote.
I've been
Okay.
and how far I've come. And
All right.
it's admittedly crude, but I think you can see some of my earlier you
Crude
see
meaning the
seeds.
construction of it, or do you use crude language in it?
Well, you'll see.
Oh, boy.
This one's called Ghost Pepper Chicken Wings. Here I sit, lonely-hearted. Tried to shit, but I only farted. Gave it a push, now I feel like a sucker. 'Cause I pushed too hard, tore up my pucker. Thank you. Now you see, admittedly I was making jokes. I was about two
Yeah.
pitchers deep into a Sunday afternoon. But
Right.
that was the first part where I said, Clovis, you got a neck for this. I mean, sure, it's a silly
yeah.
poem, something to make people laugh while they're sitting
And
on
the first
camp.
half of which seems to be based on, prior works.
Sure, it's inspired by
Public domain.
Exactly,
Sure.
exactly. Yeah.
That's like having a poem that's like "Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear Clovis, happy birthday to you."
Thank you. It's the roses are red type of thing.
true.
It's variations on a theme.
true.
very-
Although you did not vary from the theme, you merely said the exact
I was
words of it.
inspired by the theme. I mean, it's much like reinterpretations of like a Robinson Crusoe story.
I mean,
you start off
Yeah, one can go to the park and watch Macbeth, and no one is like, "Hey, you're ripping off Shakespeare."
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And he took Shakespeare and added another verse.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like doing Romeo and Juliet and Skip.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're obsessed with the name Skip.
I think it's great. Skip intro
Skip intro.
is a great comedy name.
Yeah.
Speaking of names, does that poem have a name? The one that you
Yeah, he said it.
Ghost pepper.
Ghost Pepper
wings.
Chicken. Yeah, that's incredible. Did you mention Ghost Pepper Chicken Wings in the
In the
poem?
title, yes.
In the title, you did. Okay, so the subject of the poem.
Oh no! That's why this is not me. I'm writing as a character here, but this is why that character's sitting on the toilet because he had some ghost pepper chicken.
Got
wings.
it. Got it.
Ghost
Got
pepper, of course, the hottest pepper out there, next to the Niagara Viper, both with a Scoville rating of 400,000 units.
Why do they call it a ghost pepper? Because eating it will turn you into a ghost, or
No, it's an interpretation. That pepper's grown in Thailand, and the word I don't remember the exact Thai word, but it translates
loosely as
malevolent spirit.
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have another poem for us?
Oh, I've got plenty more.
You keep saying that. I'm going to keep asking then.
I've got 2 more.
Okay, thank you.
The surprise. Hey, would it kill you to put some fun urinal cakes in here? The Dancing Manatee in Coral Gables, Florida has novelty urinal cakes that depict a fly in a cup, a frog on a lily pad, Osama bin Laden going, what? They make taking a leak kind of fun. Normally, when I take a leak, Dale, your sleeve's on fire, your sleeve's on fire. Barbacks should pay attention when they're lighting candles. Thank you.
Oh, wow. That was dramatic.
Now, I don't know if you caught that, but the title was called The Surprise.
The surprise, yeah. That's,
and I took a hard right turn in the middle of that.
That's like the Aristocrats of poems about sports bars.
I don't get the reference, but my aim was to surprise the reader
Right, yeah. Well, you certainly
with
did
an
to me.
unexpected twist.
I was just a listener and you surprised me. So I can't imagine what the reader would be.
I think for a lot of readers, the first time you read the surprise, you think it'll be a surprise about the urinal cakes. Like, oh, suddenly there's a urinal cake. And
Thank you.
I remember my skin. It's just like goosebumps when I saw
Thanks.
it.
Yeah.
Daily
That's
Shirts
exactly
on
what
fire.
I was
I
going
presume
for.
the surprise would be like a urinal cake that like comes out of the urinal and is alive and like, you know, bites down on your penis or something. You
Or
know?
this man, this alcoholic, has this grievance about urinal cakes, and then he looks down and realizes there's like a fun one. Is where
Right.
I thought it was going.
Right.
I played, in earlier drafts, it was a kidney stone or something
yeah.
like that.
Or what about like a Twilight Zone thing where like this guy loves to pee on urinal cakes that are fun, and then it starts raining and he looks up and a giant is peeing on him and he's like, and then
That's
and Rod
interesting.
Serling comes in, you know.
Yeah, and then he pisses on him. Yeah. Before you know it, everybody's
Everyone's it's just a Chuck Berry, like people
Oh,
are
yeah.
shitting on each other on glass tables.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You have one more, you say?
Yeah.
He's got plenty.
All right. This one's called The Dumpster Lovers. He nods to the bartender. Bud Light Lime with a lemon wedge in it. She smiles at him through the mirror behind the bar, revealing lightly lipstick-stained teeth. They hoist their glasses in a silent toast through the looking glass. She goes to the jukebox, puts on Against the Wind. He says, Bob Seger's from Michigan. My dad went to high school with him. They talk about the Midwest and about how people don't get stabbed at concerts anymore. He says, I stopped doing CrossFit after I blew up my shoulders doing the tire tractor sledgehammer workout. She says, I tore my Achilles heel in an over 40s tough mudder in Arizona. They show each other their scars. She puts on Welcome to the Jungle and lets out a hummus fart. He orders some Irish car bombs and spiced rum shots. They kiss at the bar, a blur of tobacco tongues, soul patches, and double chins. His turquoise belt buckle rests around the boots of work. Her Kirkland post-menopause jeans and matching panties around ankles of foot. Their unbridled passion scares off the raccoons. who normally raid the dumpster around this time. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. I kind of felt that one was coming to an end, but I didn't want to
You
clap
had to wait for
prematurely.
the
I had
thank
to wait
you.
for
It's
the thank
important to wait for the thank you because sometimes there's a dramatic pause and people
you. Yeah.
think that there's,
I hate that when I go to see a concert and a song stops and everyone applauds and then they launch into another chorus. It's like you just wanted two applauses.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a dirty trick, and I'm glad that we didn't fall for it.
Take it down a notch, Peter Gabriel.
Exactly. Well,
Just play Red Rain and hit the bricks. Am I right?
yeah. Now, when you go see Peter Gabriel, are you shouting that from song one?
I'm a big Gabriel head.
But you want it to be over.
You want it to be one song,
Well, I
Red
like
Rain,
that.
and you want him to go.
Exactly.
Hit the bricks, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Clovis, I'm a big fan. You've turned me into a fan of
Thank
poetry
you,
and
Scott.
your
I know
poetry.
we had some weird tension there. I
That's
might have-
okay.
Maybe you have a weird facial tick. I don't know. I might have misinterpreted.
yeah, it
It
very
also
well might
could
be.
be because I'm hungover.
Well, I'm glad you're not drinking now. I mean, it's 10 a.m. and you're not drinking, are you? Are you?
I had a Ray Charles coffee. That's a coffee with gin in it.
Oh, is that what Ray Charles drank?
That's what he drank, yeah.
Okay, when you said Ray Charles coffee, I thought you meant like it turns you blind. There's so much alcohol in it, or
That's fucked up, man.
okay, I beg your pardon. Big Raymond Charles fan here. Look, we need to take a break. When we come back, our old friend Mrs. Potts is going to be here. This is exciting for you. She's sort of like one of the subjects of your last poem.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll be right back with Ms. Potts and more Clovis Mandrake and John Mulaney after this. Hey everyone, Scott Ackerman here. I want to tell you we have new t-shirts in the store, and these are classics. These look really good. It's a classic gray t-shirt with the Motorcycle Man logo guy front and center in black. It's a very classic looking t-shirt. The basics, baby. Head over to podswag.com/bangbang. Pick it up. It's a really attractive t-shirt. One of my favorites we've ever made. Anyway, go check it out. Bye! Comedy Bang Bang, we are back. John Mulaney is here. Kid Gorgeous. I mean, you still consider yourself a kid, and you consider yourself to be gorgeous.
No.
This is not about you.
No, it's not about me.
No, it's just a title.
This hour is not about me.
No, this is about various subject matters that have nothing to do with you.
Please. It's not about me. It's about you, the audience.
Of course, yeah,
Absolutely.
and your relationship to the material.
Absolutely.
And speaking of material, here's Clovis Mandrake, who's written approximately 4 poems.
Not in my whole life. That's just what I brought here. To
Sure,
prepare.
of course. Yeah, you
You've
can't.
got, I mean, what do you, plenty. right?
I've self-published 8 books.
Wow. How thick are the books?
Oh, well, so one of them's just like a little slam book, just like a short thing. That's the first one. But
Right.
my latest book's about 150 pages.
150 pages. Is there a poem on every page? Is that the Clovis Mandrake promise?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Or just some of them spill over into a second page?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, is it 150 poems, or are we talking like 80 that are spread out over?
I don't remember precisely how. I mean, I was playing around with some of the geography of words, and so I use large font for some of them.
Right, yeah, like words that are meant to be
There's
read.
a poem called "Pay Attention." And the font gets progressively bigger.
Well, and what is the subject matter of that? How's it
Guy
relate
was
to
ignoring me.
Okay, all right. Well, speaking of ignoring someone, let us ignore her no longer. She is a wonderful returning friend to the show. She's been on the show before. People may remember her from A Tale as Old as Time, Beauty and the Beast. Please welcome back to the show, Mrs. Potts.
Oh, thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Tale as old as time.
Yes, that was your song in the movie.
Tale as old as time.
Yes.
That was it. Thank you for having me back, Scott.
Our pleasure. This is John.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Mrs. Potts.
And,
hello.
of course, Clovis Mandrake.
Oh, yes, I remember reading your poems to
Oh.
my son Chip, who
Ah, yes,
died.
Chip.
Oh, I'm so
from
sorry.
smallpox as soon as we became humans again.
Yeah, let's catch the new listeners up to your story. You, of course, are one of the characters in the movie Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, my life.
Your life story.
Yes.
You sold the life rights.
Sold my life rights to Disney.
And now you were a human being.
Was a human being, got cursed because my boss was a dick to a little witch.
Right.
And then
Turned into a
teapot.
an anthropomorphic teapot. And how long were you a teapot? It was hundreds of years? Or?
Yes, like 175 years.
175
Yes.
years. And that's about as many John Mulaney's as Matt Groening is. Now, you then turned into a human.
Yes, we
and,
turned back.
As did Chip. And Chip was your son. He was a little teacup, as I recall.
Yes, he
and he had a
was.
little chip.
He had a little chip.
And that turned out to be that chip. That defect turned out to be
Smallpox.
and he died.
Yes.
He would have lived forever as a little teacup, but he
Yes.
passed away
Yes.
the minute he turned back. Not the minute he turned back.
Pretty quick, though.
Really? How long did it take?
Like 2 days.
2 days.
And he immediately got smallpox. It's hard being a human.
Had he contracted it prior to the curse, and it just had he was in the last throes of it, or did he contract it immediately upon turning
He
human?
immediately he just jumped into
It's
a
quick.
pile of blankets.
Oh no!
And one had smallpox on it.
That is a
Yes.
terrible story.
Yes, but-
and you were married to you had a husband when you were a teapot. It was a Mr.
A
Coffee.
Mr. Coffee, yes.
But he was not a former human that had been cursed.
Right. He was just a coffee pot.
And he was not anthropomorphic. It was
No.
just a coffee pot.
He's still just a coffee pot
Do
in
you-
Bavaria.
Do you ever see him?
No. Sometimes I'll Google him, but no. Not really.
You
But
Googled
it's-
that particular coffee pot or
Yeah.
the model that he.
the serial number and all. I have it all.
Okay.
But I'm over
Realize
him.
You could Google specific coffee pots by their serial number.
Yes. You can Google anything, Scott.
Okay.
I'd imagine lots of images come up if you just Google Mr. Coffee. So she,
Right,
wants
yeah.
to see.
I
her
need the
husband.
specific one.
Do you put it
Yes.
in quotes at all, like quote before the Mister and then after the coffee? Because I would imagine you would get a lot of like people drinking coffee without the quote. I don't know why I'm asking you this. Anyway,
It's fine.
It's okay?
It's okay. You can ask me that. Ask me whatever.
okay.
Is your former husband seen anybody new?
Yes, apparently he's seen some tea bags.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. I'm over him. I'm happy to be a human again.
Well, you broke it off, or he broke it off when you became human. Because it doesn't seem like the non-anthropomorphic coffee pot that doesn't move has much agency over its own body.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
so didn't you break it off?
I broke it off.
Hmm.
I broke it off. I thought, well, I'm a human now. I should probably try to be with the human.
Right.
But it's been hard. But I have found love, Scott.
You have
I
this
found
new
love.
announcement.
It's a new announcement. I have.
Ah.
I'm in love with Alexa.
Alexa.
Yes.
What's Alexa's last name?
Echo.
Oh, you mean the AI, the artificial
Yes.
intelligence Alexa
Yes,
from
I get the best of both worlds. I get an object and kind of a human.
Okay, so like an Alexa Dot, is it like a not ovular but circular,
Yes,
spherical?
Yeah, one of those like kind of cylinder.
It's a cylinder.
Cylinder,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see where this is going.
What? Where?
Have you heard of a Steely Dan situation?
I'm a big fan,
Are you really
not of the band.
of the? Oh, okay. So then we know exactly
Oh,
where
yes,
this is going.
yes. But no, I haven't done that with Alexa yet.
Oh,
No.
What have you done? You open the door.
Yes, yes,
And I'm going to crawl through the window.
Crawl on through the window. We're so far we're playing it kind of slow. We're taking it a little slow.
That's good. That's good in a
I don't
new
wanna
relationship.
rush into
Yeah.
anything.
Especially when you were in a relationship for hundreds of years. I can only imagine it takes some
Yeah,
time.
It takes a lot of time.
It's about
to-
half the time of the relationship to get over a relationship.
Yeah,
so.
just
And
like
you're
jet
grieving.
lag.
Yeah.
Sorry, and you're grieving.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still getting over Mr. Coffee.
Oh, and your son had died.
Oh yes, and Chip with smallpox. Yes, that's
Yeah.
of course really getting me.
Yeah.
Anyways, me and Alexa, so far I've just asked her to tell me what a penis is. You know, I just go, Alexa, what's a penis? And then she describes it to me. I'm like, oh yeah,
So this is
oh yeah.
So you were are you pansexual or
What does that mean? I like pans? Because yeah, I'm into anything.
so you can fall in love with an object. You can fall in love with. It doesn't matter what gender.
Gender's not a thing.
Gender's not a thing
Gender
for you.
is not a thing.
Gender's a construct.
Thank you,
Scott.
Clovis.
Yes,
Thank you.
Clovis.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So then, why are you asking Alexa to describe penises if you?
Oh, just to, don't. I also ask her to describe ginies and other things, buttholes and stuff.
Buttholes?
Yes,
That's
yes,
what does
yes.
How
it
does
for
she
you?
describe when you say, Alexa, describe a butthole?
What is it, like starfish shaped?
Is she embarrassed at first? Is there a giggle?
The first time there was I cannot find that for you.
Yeah, my
And-
experiences with Alexa have been very clinical.
Oh yes, it's very clinical. I asked her what a clitoris is, and then she told me an ostrich has one, and so I thought, okay, great, Alexa.
Is that true?
What doesn't an ostrich have? When you really think about it. So you're in the nascent stages of this relationship.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
The early, I guess. Is that how you pronounce it, John? You're a guy who would know something like that.
Yeah, nascent.
Nascent,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
okay.
as a man of letters, traditionally it's a hard C sound, so it's nascent.
It sounds too much like foreskin to really be correct.
That's a huge jump.
Yes, we're in the beginning phase, but we really do care about each other. You know, she,
It's reciprocal.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, she welcomes me when I get home and
Turns on the lights?
Turns on the lights, turns on some rain noise if I want rain noise, turns on some fun music if I want fun music.
What if you want a combination of the two and you want to hear Red Rain and then hit the bricks?
Ooh, yes.
Right, play the
Love
hits.
Peter Gabriel.
Exactly.
Big time.
So you think it's reciprocal? I mean, it seems to me like Alexa's doing all of these things because you, I won't even say request, but you're ordering Alexa to do these things. It seems like a 50 Shades of Grey type relationship, like a master and servant kind of.
Ooh, Scott, you're nasty. Yeah, I'm the
think I'm
dom
nasty.
and she's the sub, right?
Well, that's what I'm getting
Ooh,
at.
I like that, Scott.
I'm not nasty. I'm just asking if this is. I'm not nasty. It seems like you're the one who's nasty.
Sometimes we get in fights and I just unplug her.
I don't know about like turning off someone's sentience. That's not.
Is
a
that
very
too
cool-
far?
Yeah, it's not a very cool thing. Like if, like John, you have a wonderful wife that you talk about in your act.
Drag her into this? What?
I'm saying that it's not cool if you ever got into an
If I
argument
knocked
with
her
her.
out cold, yeah, it would be uncool. You know what you should do?
What?
You said earlier you
Yes.
Google your ex-husband.
Yes.
You should make Alexa look up your ex. Is the ultimate submissive move.
Ooh, y'all are nasty. I like this.
Don't you think that'd be fucked up?
Yeah, that would be really fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Clovis, do you have any suggestions?
I want to see this. Yeah.
What do you want to see? The
Well, I want to see her make Alexa look up the ex, but I also want to see more of what this weird interaction was.
John.
I know, I'm
John
liking
in
And how
this.
his thoughts.
fucked up
Right.
things were.
There's some good energy
So-
right
yeah,
between
yeah,
us.
charge.
Yeah.
Just look at me. Just
Yes,
look at me.
I'm looking. I won't look at anyone else.
You should have her look up specifics in Bavaria and even draft an email
Oh yeah.
Oh, my God. On her.
on her to
On
him.
her to him. Oh, she's going to fucking flip her lid.
I know about her, and she can't say shit.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't
Ooh,
actually
that's
have a
good.
lid, right? Like Mr. Coffee did.
Oh, God damn it. I miss him so much.
Just buy a new Mr. Coffee.
It's not the same. He has this, like, stale scent that I just love, you know?
All Mr. Coffees have that.
Really? Yeah.
Not if you clean them.
Yeah, you got to keep him filthy. And my ex,
So Beast kept
he was
it filthy.
Beast never cleaned anything because he still counted on us
he
to.
did he have opposable thumbs? It seemed like he did in the animated
He
film.
just kind of had like claws.
Yeah.
Yeah, like paws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could he
yeah.
open doors or
Yes.
he could, right? Because otherwise, how could he
He did
lock
many-
Bell in that prison?
He did many things.
He could operate a
delicately
key.
tied a ribbon in the back of his head.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah, how did he not tear up his clothes all the time?
In the
Practice.
beginning, he did. But then
Did he
he
really?
got better and
Were
better.
the clothes anthropomorphic as well? Were they humans? And he tore them up to pieces?
Yes.
Gosh,
Yeah. In the
that's
beginning,
terrible.
everything turned into everything else.
Wow. Was the castle itself that everyone lived in an anthropomorphic human?
Yeah, you don't remember that from the movie?
No, I don't.
Had a very funny, like, "Hey everybody," kind
Very-
of voice.
Right. Interesting.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes,
Well, congratulations on finding love.
Thank
That's
you.
that's so. And what else has been going on in your life?
Oh, I've tried to start actually solving murders.
Okay. Wait, like Angela Lansbury did in Murder, She Wrote?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. That's right. I've started writing books about murders, and then the local sheriff has come to me when stuff is going down.
How do you find out about murder? Like, do you just read the police blotter, or how do you find out?
Yes, and I have a police scanner.
Oh.
And I just listen and I wait.
What town do you live in? Is it a small town or is it a large town with lots of
It's a
murders?
small town on the East Coast. And I like to bike around, but surprisingly, a lot of murders happen.
That is strange for such a small town. So
Right?
many murders to
Too
happen.
many murders.
Do you ever make
And-
Alexa listen to the police scanner when shit's really going down?
All the time.
Yeah, she
All the
just has
time.
to listen.
Yeah.
What if
and I say,
Alexa fell in love with the police scanner?
Now that's what I'm afraid of too.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Spending so much time on there.
You come home, yeah.
Yeah.
You think that's
Well,
it's
you
possible.
think that's happening?
crime never stops.
Money never sleeps. Crime never stops. It could happen. I mean, you're away, you're out there solving murders, and meanwhile, Alexa is spending so much time with the police blotter that,
That
you know-
explains everything.
Well, what does it explain?
I came home one time and they were, I think, like what I assumed was 69ing.
They were on,
They-
laid on top of each other.
Yeah.
It,
They
okay.
were. So like her turn on button was on the other way.
The scanner, you mean?
The scanners.
Right. Okay. Not the block.
Part-
Where the legs would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So the antenna of the scanner was like sort of bisecting Alexa.
Yes. You think they were doing it? They were doing it.
I don't know.
I mean, it sure sounds like they were doing
It
it.
does
The way
sound
you
like
describe
they
it,
were
it's
doing
very
it.
hot.
Yeah.
It sounds like they were doing it.
Oh, shit. Well, shit.
Do you know that you have an uncanny knack for the erotica?
What?
Just your
Thank you.
normal cadence is very sexy, and the things you describe are
Oh.
quite moist making.
Oh, are you telling me you're moist right now? Mm-hmm. Oh, me too.
Hashtag me too.
Splish splash.
Oh dear. Look.
Wait, who just said me too?
What?
Not me.
Hashtag not me. Look, it seems like something's going on here between Clovis and Mrs. Potts, a human and a human, which I think
mean-
is. If you want to go out on a date, we'll pay for it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What
I
does
mean,
it include?
It includes all expenses trip to the restaurant down the street.
I'll tell you what, it's
Uber,
dollar
basically.
dollar taco night at Big Wang's.
Oh.
You want to go over there and
Are there
catch?
chicken wings in the tacos with bones in them?
No, these are just taco.
Big Wings is they
Big Wangs.
Wangs.
they primarily make chicken wings.
Sure, but they're allowed to do other things.
Okay, I know they're
Taco
allowed.
night, so it
guy,
seemed
right?
like
What
a
is
special
this?
thing.
Are there a lot of TVs there?
There's not enough for my liking, but there's
Okay.
a pretty good amount. Yeah.
Oh my! I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Okay.
That sounds nice.
Wow, bouncing back.
Yeah.
You must have spent much time
Barely
with
even
Alexa.
friends, then somebody bends. Beauty and the Beast.
That's right. Wow. My God. So you're the beast in this situation.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's an
you
I would
better
imagine
bet
Clovis.
your bottom dollar on the beast.
Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations. I want an update on
Scott,
this.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. I mean, you were cheated on by Alexa and you just bounced right back and
Yeah,
into the
fuck
arms
her.
of Clovis. Yeah, fuck her.
Fuck her.
Yeah.
She didn't help me.
Fuck her.
Fuck her.
Oh my God, you guys are getting closer and closer.
Killing her would bond you.
Whoa. Wait a minute.
That's
What?
right.
Wait a minute, John.
Killing her would bond me.
That's right.
We could pour some water on her.
That's right.
That'll kill her.
We'll make the police scanner watch.
Yeah. Ooh, Clovis, I like you.
What's your name?
Mrs. Potts.
Mrs. Potts.
You're about to call her Pablo?
I was gonna call her Pepper.
Oh, from
Call
the Iron
me
Man
whatever
universe.
you want.
That's a totally separate Disney property. It's
yeah.
a different piece of IP.
That's a different piece of folklore.
Well, guys, I don't want to see you making out here, so I'm going to probably call an end to the show. But we have one last thing to do before we end, and that is a little something called plugs. Oh, nice, short and sweet. I love it. That was Meant to Plug. And it's by a band that I'm not quite sure how to pronounce. I'm going to ask John to think of his pronunciation, and I'm going to think of my pronunciation, and we'll say it both at the same time and see if we link up.
Right, that one?
Yeah, this one right
Okay.
here. Okay, and we'll say it at the same time on three. It'll 3, 2, 1, and then we say it. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Fumanfat.
Oh,
very-
Fumanfat, I
Well,
said.
I don't know. I'm not correct, and you're not correct.
Right, okay.
It could be either. Fumanfat. If you have a plugs theme, you know what to do with it. And what are we plugging? Obviously, John, you have a piece of IP out there yourself right now.
Yeah, I've got some content right now on Netflix that you can stream currently. Kid Gorgeous at Radio City, streaming right now on Netflix. And
Is it exactly an hour, like all 3 discs of Prince's Emancipation?
nope, it's an hour and 4 minutes.
Hour and 4 minutes. Very good.
Yeah.
So you did not take the Prince route,
Not in that way,
but it is sort of inspired.
but I'm taking fentanyl and I will master it. A few people we've lost a few to it, but I'm gonna figure out the dosage.
The exact.
I know how much to take and how much not to take.
Clovis Mandrake, where can people see you do readings or?
Well, just you can check out my website, ClovisMandrake.
So you were able to get it.
That's right.
Oh, great.
I paid $4,000 to the son of a bitch who got there first, but it was worth it. Also, be at the Iowa Writers Workshop this summer, teaching a class with Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Class about what?
it's about race and masculinity in modern literature.
Are you two on the same page?
Absolutely.
Have you talked to him, or do you just assume you are?
Oh, we're absolutely. I'm very progressive. I mean, you know, I read his the book he wrote as a letter to his son, young son, about being a black man in America.
Between the World and Me.
Exactly. And
English major.
I was very moved by
just
that.
knowing the
well,
title.
that book was written many years after he graduated
Yeah,
college,
absolutely.
I believe.
And he's the one that's about to collaborate with
Yeah,
Mr. Coates.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be all about you, is what you're saying.
Not.
Plus, I was a
getting the
big
title
fan
right.
of his Black Panther graphic novel.
Right. Yeah. His run on Black Panther and Captain America coming up.
Right. I was you're right, but
Have you seen galleys of his Captain America?
Oh,
run?
sure. We hang out all the time.
That's great. Okay. Wow. Congratulations. And anything else to plug? Anything else coming out there? Anything you're a fan of? Or
No.
Nope. Okay. Mrs. Potts, what do you want to plug?
Well, I am solving murders now, so please hit me up if you
Know the
ever
you know
have
the
a murder.
identities of killers?
Yes, please. I need all the help I can get.
Are you good at it?
No, not at all. I'm not very good at it. I'm not good at solving puzzles or anything like that. So it's been very hard.
You couldn't even put the chipped piece of.
Chip back in.
Yeah.
Nope, I gave up real quick. So yeah, if you
There were only 2 options for that, either this side or that side.
and like. There was clearly a top and a bottom
Right.
color-wise,
Yeah.
but I
And,
just
and a smooth side and an inside side, yeah.
And anthropomorphic superglue available to you, I would imagine.
Yes.
Are you, do you want open cases or you need answers? You're
Cold cases? What
Do you
looking
need
at?
new cases? You just need answers to the ones you're
I'll do some cold cases, but I promise I won't do well.
Yeah.
But
how,
I would love answers to
how
some
many cases are currently in the red?
right now in the red? That means like not solved.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh well.
Oh boy. A lot.
Yeah. How many of those are red balls? Never mind. Anything else to plug?
No, that's about it.
Any shows you're going to see in theaters or anything coming up? Or speaking of Netflix, isn't there a show on there?
Oh yeah.
that's,
If you guys want to watch Disjointed, it's a fun pot comedy.
Yep. With,
Yeah, if you want to watch,
if you want to.
Disjointed, check it out.
Don't watch it if you don't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would not suggest that.
Yeah.
I want to plug that Comedy Bang Bang TV show on Netflix.
yeah.
May go away at any point. Unlike Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day, which will be there in perpetuity. As long as Netflix decides it's worth keeping up the bandwidth for, I guess. All right, let's close up the old plug bag.
Oh, what a bag! It's time to open it. It's time to
It's time to open the bag.
It's time to open the bag. It's time to open the bag. Open the bag. Open the bag.
All right, that is the closing up the plug bag theme. I made a note John was looking at during the closing of the plug bag theme, something I wanted to ask him about. Okay, so I'm watching Kid Gorgeous.
Thanks again.
Beautiful, symmetrical aesthetic and set design.
Yes.
Wonderful background.
The
And
set built by a guy named Scott Pask. Just
really?
nominated for 2 Tony Awards.
2 Tonys for which...
for Mean Girls and The Band's Visit.
oh, he's going to win then. I mean, he's got a 2 out of 5 chance, right? That's better
Is
than...
it 2 out of 5?
Primarily in award shows, they usually have 5 nominees,
Yeah.
but it could be 6.
He was a set designer for Oh Hello on Broadway, and he's a very talented man who did the full set at Radio City. Everything you see there was built by him.
Wonderful person, wonderful design. And I'm watching, and, you know, the Radio City Music Hall Theater is in very symmetrical rows and everything. And then I'm watching it, and to my left, stage right, in the 3rd row, everyone's lined up and sitting in these rows. There's a guy who's just like turned, and it has his feet like in the aisle, and he's just like his legs are in the aisle, ruining the symmetricality of your design.
The whole time?
The whole time. Anytime there's a wide shot, look about 3rd row, camera left. There's a guy who's just like his legs are out in the middle of the aisle.
How didn't we...
Why
didn't we catch that?
Why don't you CGI this guy out?
Boy, oh boy. I'm surprised we didn't catch that.
And who does that? Who goes
Guy with
to
long legs.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, I can only commiserate. Well, guys, thank you
I've
so
done
much.
that.
I've done that myself. So what are we coming down on this guy? But if this guy is listening and wants to publicly apologize, you'll accept it, correct?
Absolutely. I will accept any apology for things done to me and to others.
All right. John, thank you so much for coming
Thank
by.
you, Scott.
Really appreciate it. Good luck with the show.
Thank you, my friend.
Clovis, good luck.
Thank you for
and
having me,
Mrs.
Scott.
Potts, good luck with whatever's happening
Oh,
here.
we don't need any luck.
The only thing we will pay for it as long as you come back and talk about it, and talk about your experience and if you hit it off or not, and if we've made a love connection.
Great.
Oh, I think we've already made a love connection.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, how do you mean? What are your hands doing underneath the table there?
Don't
Up
you
my
worry about it. Let me just say,
Okay, well,
You don't need to worry about it because it's upper skirt.
let's just say ostriches have them too.
all right, we'll see you next time. Thanks, bye. Hey, everyone, thanks for listening. And again, hello. And there's a new show coming to Adult Swim called Joe Pera Talks With You. It's a quiet show about Joe and his friends, the things in his life, like breakfast foods, rocks, weddings, being woken up by thunder, grilled chicken, pumpkins, fall drives, and more. And now here's a personal request from Joe. Please watch. Joe Pera Talks With You, Sunday at midnight on Adult Swim.